Hello everybody and welcome to the Beginner's Guide. Now, the Beginner's Guide is, and you'll have to give me this for this because I'm probably going to slaughter the name, is an indie game by Davey Redden. Now, Davey Redden was the creator of the Stanley Parable, which if you've played or you've seen somebody play it, is an extremely humorous little game where you play as a man named Stanley. And there's a narrator who's over the top, and he tells you what to do, and you can choose to acquiesce with what he says or ignore what he says, often to humorous effect. Now, it was really acclaimed just because it was so funny and it was so sort of thought-provoking. Now, the second one, the Beginner's Guide, is obviously should have that same sort of theme to it. And from what I can read from reviews about it, it's about a man who has to try and do something he can't quite understand. So, without further ado, let's start the game. Please make sure audio is on. Yep, it's on. I mean, I can hear waves. So, yes, it is on. Okay, WASD and the left mouse button. Simple controls. Even an idiot like me could do this. White screen.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing the Beginner's Guide.
Hello.
My name is Davey Redden. I wrote
was right.
Stanley Parable.
Hi, Davey
and
Redden.
While that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011.
What, do you?
We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment.
That's cool. It's a nice little map.
Is that even though he starts from
the
simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level.
I haven't seen the floating blobs. I've seen the
illusion that this actually
green thing.
Is
there's one.
Town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person.
More.
And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games.
He was probably just joking around.
Not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves.
That is an interesting way to look at it.
Who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008. Coda starts making these games.
Oh man,
and
2008.
he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them on the internet. He just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made. Until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since.
That's sad.
And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda.
Yes, of course.
So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveyWreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game.
Now, this is a really nice thing to do.
I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Yeah, this is a really nice thing to do for your friend. I mean, your friend who clearly enjoys making... I've got my brothers like this. He likes making little games and mods, and he never releases them. And it's really sad. He's really quite talented, my brother. Oh, hello. Whisper machine active. Okay. Okay, left or right? Shit, left.
And it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
To the right, always right to the right. But with left you can't go wrong. Oh, I can fire. There's no gunfire effect. But I can fire. Maybe they're one of those special silent guns. Do I get to kill anything?
Security call breached. Hostile alien life forms.
Uh-oh. Not hostile alien life forms. Okay,
it kind of looks like this game was abandoned mid-development.
Okay, I can't go through that.
For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere.
Right.
But then clearly there are no enemies anywhere.
Oh,
you can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately, we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And
Probably
I think
not.
that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin ship evacuation.
Yep, I was so great in that neutralizing that enemy force. I was the MVP there.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
Yeah, I do too. They're very pretty though. Yeah, I don't know. It adds like quite a creepy feeling anyway, even without the without actual. Oh shit!
The space station has a labyrinth on it.
Yeah, I got lost already.
Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
No, I wanted to do it. I'm going back.
Or if you'd really like to solve the labyrinth, you're welcome to do that too.
Yeah, that was some of the Stanley Parable sarcasm I'm looking for. I won't solve the labyrinth.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Well, that was convenient. Hi, I guess that's a whisper drive.
There, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam.
Yep, I expected that.
It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it?
The thing is, he even got voices to do it. This guy. I mean, he's clearly quite talented to have developed himself, got his people together. Alley-oop!
Let me pause here for a second.
Okay.
What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level.
Yeah.
But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Okay. Okay. Again, once more onto the breach, dear friends. Oh, okay. Okay. I got shot over here. Can't move. And now the music's gone. Sound's gone.
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for it. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it. Like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place.
Or maybe I just failed to save it.
All of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know.
The beam was too strong for me.
What he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Do you know, I don't think maybe even has to necessarily mean something. My younger brother, as I said before, he's an extremely talented, extremely smart young man. He used to make all these little games and mods and things for Oblivion. The past was behind her. Well, that's scary. And he used to make all these mods and things for Oblivion and Skyrim and all that. And
so try walking
he never released it, but...
Yep. In this game, you can only walk backwards.
Okay. That's scary. But yeah, he used to make all these games, and he didn't release them, I don't think, just because it wasn't necessarily for him about getting recognition or making money or anything for him. It was purely for the fun.
It's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete.
I get it.
Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
Yeah, no, I get this, yeah. It's something a little different. I mean, I love how you can see there's like gaps between the floor, but... Oh crap, have I got to go that way? I got to go this way. I got to get jump scared, because I really don't want to get jump scared. When she stops and looks, it becomes clearer. This is really nice. I like this. It's like a clever little design, but if the future is always behind her, How will she find the strength to become the greatest Pokemon master the world has ever known? To confront it.
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that.
That seems done to me.
Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
Yeah, so it doesn't necessarily have to be about actually making money or gaining recognition. You can do it purely for the fun, and it takes up your time and satisfies you to know that you've started from the bottom and you've created something you can run around in and touch and play with. At least that's how I see it. I mean, I could be entirely wrong. I mean, Stanley, Davey could be entirely right about this. Oh, I like this. This would make a good scary game. I mean, I can't move much left and right. You are now entering hell. Oh,
and
darkness.
That's it.
Oh.
Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
Okay, Davey. I shall remember it. December 2008. Your boy makes a lot of games. Nonsense in nearly every direction.
Bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games.
Okay.
I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
That is a shame, but if he gets the satisfaction from it... I'm slow. Oh, okay.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Okay. Whoop. Yeah, but you can make it there eventually yourself. Stand on an X, staring at a bear for 3 hours. You run a shop inside your own body, selling your organs strategically to make the money before you die. A game of only motivational quotes, played one after another where the player cannot move. You start in a small room until you realise you can just walk through the walls.
And nice, and filled with little ideas for games.
That's nice, I like that. This is really sweet.
Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that.
I like that one.
It can be a very slow climb to get there.
A stranger appears. You construct a wall, the wall is destroyed. I like that level, that was nice. That was really, you know, it got to see into the heart of the developer. I mean, if that was truly in there, and it's not something that Davey Redden added, then truly that's really quite heartfelt to me. That he's just had this nice little area where he stuck all his ideas for games and maybe never even made them. This feels a lot like, Zombie Master to me. Oh, once I'm down, I'm down.
This is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
Did I solve it? Okay. Run around the outside. But I didn't solve it. Let's jump in the mist. Okay. Let's walk backwards into the mist. Okay. Maybe I'm being stupid here. Oh, okay. No, now I've just locked myself in. Oh!
Don't forget that
I did it!
Because we're going to see this puzzle again soon.
What are the holes
we're
for?
gonna see it a lot.
What are the glory holes for? And this is just a shocked face. Why make it over and over again then? So, okay, we're down. I like this. It's nice. It's like a chic lounge without any furniture.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Okay. Whoa! Seriously? No way! He could seriously not have been designed all this.
That? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing.
This would take
I actually find
years.
it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea.
What?
So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich
wow.
interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world.
Right? Wow, this is incredible.
I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
Oh wow, I did not expect. Oh, we're back here. Let me go. Okay, we're still here. Will we find out where we're entering? You are now exiting.
Aha. So this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in. Some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
This so far, I mean, I thought in the start when he said it was going to be a series of little games and over and over again, they were just little things. I thought that was going to be literally it and he'd be just talking the whole time. But so far, this has been really heartfelt and nice and interesting look into the mind of a developer. I mean, certainly someone who's an independent developer on their own.
Let's talk about video game development for a second.
Okay.
Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
The Streetwise Fool. Nice little restaurant.
To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source.
Oh.
Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly.
Ow.
One of the things that it does very well is boxy
I can
linear
jump.
corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well.
Yeah. I mean, this is nice in
itself. The tools available
itself.
to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
I know, he's probably got a nice little non-boxy corridor house there. Well, restaurant here. Okay, there's another. Oh, okay, it goes down. My bad. Oh, hello. Okay, that was just the door out to the outside. Whoa, okay, hello there. This is much bigger. This is much bigger than what goes to show under the surface. Okay, puzzle jumping game. Time not to fail. Time not to fail. Pressure is on. It's not a very difficult one, but I can do this. Okay, and this in itself is quite interesting. Even if it's completely unfinished. I mean, there's no fall damage, I should imagine. We're about to find out. Okay. Yeah, even if there's no fall damage or anything like that, this in itself would be quite an interesting, challenging game. You know, if you fall off, you go back to the last orange blocks you touched. Unless that was, in fact, his intention. Oh, man, this is kind of trippy in its own way. Oh, man, this is going to be difficult. Oh, I made it. Oh, no, did I make it to the right one? Oh, no. Oh, crap. I fell. I fell. Okay, that was just a really quick way down. Probably should have done that from the start. Would have made that a lot easier. This bit a lot easier. It's kind of creepy music in itself. Just an empty place, infinitely open. No, this is cool. Oh, it's gonna be a little maze and what's going on? Oh, okay. I don't want to go in here. What? This is kind of creepy, all in itself. Okay, I can't go off that way. Can't go off that way. Oh, I've got to go up here. Oh, I'm a prisoner.
Funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors
You can't hold me.
a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
That's dedication to your friend, though. Good on you. Ooh, this is pretty. But you got a sky instead of just whiteness.
It's the puzzle again.
Oh, it is.
It's the exact same solution as the last time.
Okay, so press the button again. Step outside the door. Press U.
There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
It might be in itself that he's each time unhappy with the game that he's making. It doesn't quite reach that goal you get in your head. There's sometimes I start making things and they, you play games and you don't quite do it exactly where you want. So you start over. I've played Final Fantasy and there've been games where I've had everything I could possibly need apart from just a few little things. And I'll go back and I'll start that game over again so I can get the 100%, so I can get this, so I can get the perfect ending, whatever. It might be this isn't purely the case. That he starts over each time so he can try and each time perfect it. You up there? Did you come from above? What was up there?
Dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
I did. The 2 doors and switches. Yes, I did. That was literally the last thing I did. No, I don't remember having to go through it. I prefer not to tell you. After all, we've only just met. I am a suspicious individual after all. What? But you don't understand. We're trapped here. That puzzle has only escaped. We need to get out through there. You think you want to get through, but trust me, you don't. Let me describe it for you. Let me tell you all about what's over there. I mean, I don't know. I'd rather be out there than trapped in this little room. Though this little room does have a heater. I understand. I was waiting for a prison. In that prison for an hour. Oh, you're listening. Is that the end? Speak! Don't leave me on my own. Don't leave me... oh, okay. Door open behind me. You could have told me that, Davey. Me and you are going to have some trust issues soon if you don't start telling me things. Well, hello. How did you get here? Was there a puzzle you had to pass through? No, I've been right here this entire time. It's just you go and see the puzzle sometime. It's not meant to be solved, but you can sit in the black space in the middle. What happens if I solve it? I'm not sure, but if I have any suspicion, what you find won't be worth what it takes to get there. You'll have another chance to solve it soon. Thank you. Wait a minute. Okay, I was going to say, maybe it's like the puzzle here, it's the puzzle, and you've got to go back on yourself. Because in order to beat it, I had to go back to go forward.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
Man, these are really dark, long steps. Yeah, they're right, these do make good boxy corridors. Oh, this looks ominous. This is actually really quite creepy. It's like the place where Neo fought all the Agent Smiths in the Matrix.
Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out.
Okay.
I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Like I said, maybe each time he's just not happy with the previous results and he's just trying over each time just to try and make it that thing that he wanted, that vision he had in his head the whole time. There's nothing worse than doing something, spending all your time on it, and then realising you haven't quite hit the thing that you wanted to make. This game is connected to the internet. As you walk around, you can leave notes. All notes you see are left by other players. Oh, it's a bit like Dark Souls. Well. Oh, look. It's a note. Let's read the note by the player. Hello. How do I... Okay. Take a step back. Nice room. Not. Oh, you're so sarcastic and funny, little note. Oh, you said it again. He said it. He said it again.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this.
How do you beat this game?
The game is not connected to the
No
internet.
point to this.
All of the notes that you're going to see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first
clever.
game of his that I ever played. This was
Whoa,
shortly
holy
after
shit.
I met him at a weekend
Can you hear,
game jam in
guys?
Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this
Hello.
very level, and it was just so different from
Reasonable.
anything that anyone else was doing. So right
Everyone
away I
read
was
this.
like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention.
One time I did.
I was over enthusiastic.
I'm the king of the world.
But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them.
Okay.
Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
Okay, I can't jump off the edge.
But it's ironic, isn't it?
Recognize me, please.
Playing
Oh,
this
that's so
game
sad.
And seeing how alone Coda often
You're right,
felt,
don't listen to that guy.
that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him.
Free
And I
T-shirt.
have to be honest with you. This
Need the
idea
other
is
side
really
door while you so
seductive
door
to
how
me.
open. Be
That I
safe.
could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work.
I don't know. I
think
like
this
that
is why
feeling
I
getting
always
to know
liked
someone.
Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
That's nice. Not in a sarcastic way. Genuinely, it's nice if, you know, Coda's work affected you. Oh, don't fall down the edge. Affected you in such a way that it made you feel better. Then, oh, okay. Okay, I thought the game was meant to do that. Wasn't. I just lagged for a second. Not sure why. Oh, that's pretty. Okay. Painting, what does it mean? Whoever made this has issues. Who are all of you? We one all die sometimes. Stop pretending you're other people. Spoilers, it doesn't mean anything. Devil Tower style. Okay, let's continue on. There must be a reason for it. Not everything has to have a reason. Can I just,
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here,
Are we?
I'll tell you what I think the puzzle
Dude,
is.
spoilers, come on.
Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one. In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
Help, help. It's saying all shit, how do you solve it? Developer answer,
and
please.
because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between the spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together.
Only one person made it.
That elusive bigger picture.
Well, this is kind of creepy in itself. How do you leave notes? Is this that room where they did the monkeys and the typewriters? And the works of Shakespeare? I'm there. Wow, that is creepy. Your friend, Coda, he seems like a very talented guy, but he clearly has some issues going on inside him, as you say, and maybe these games help him work them out in his own mind. Porn stars die
this
too.
One is tough. It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Okay. Oh, okay, we can go through here. Ooh, pretty. Am I a porn star? I would call myself Jack Amer, because I would be French. And that would be how my videos would start, would be by me going, oh. Okay.
See, like, this is it. The whole
yeah,
game. And
not
there's
much
nothing that's particularly interesting.
Oh, I'm in the well.
You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture.
This is the same as that floor.
And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's going to start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
Okay. Alright, no furniture this time, but just black marks on the floor. But furniture to go in the center of the room. A refrigerator. Fuck it, why not? That's not a refrigerator! Damn it, Coda! 10 stoves lined up against the wall. Put 10 stoves. That's a sofa, dude! Why even ask if you're not going to let me do it? I think we should light this room a bit. We'll put live Tesla coils in each corner. Nah! Oh, okay. You disappoint me once more. And a table? You need? I got a table. This crappy fridge thing. I'm going to stand in the way. Okay. Whoa. Right. Uh-huh.
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
Yeah, I get it. This is a maze. But what? I am really confused.
So,
okay.
He throws it out and starts over. This time he
that was
comes
a maze.
at
I
the
could have got
idea
through.
from a different direction.
Hello, please walk forward. I shall. This guide will enable you to escape any prison environment. Follow the instructions carefully. Take care that you remember each step. First, click on this table. Hey! Good, now go over to the photo frame and click it to turn it slightly. Now turn the side lamp on and turn it off and on. Now go to the left side sofa, move it over a little bit. Okay. Finally, touch the shelves. Okay, I've touched the shelves. That's it. In a real prison, the escape will now open. Return to the start to be taken back to your prison. Okay, have I got to remember how to do this? Hey, okay, return. Boop! Okay, in itself, I've hit the return button.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape.
Ah, clever.
Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside.
That's
Let me just
weird.
Take you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly
right.
a dozen.
Why?
Personally, I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop. That particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it.
I'm intrigued.
And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
Okay. It's dark, it's creepy. I like it thus far. Things I can't see are going on. Starting to set the atmosphere, so it sounds. No, it's a phone box. We're lucky to find one of these these days. And look, we're back with that lamp again. Okay, I'm going to go in the phone box of death. Is that movie, Phone Book Leave, and now some guy's going to shoot people? Hello? Alex? Hey, it's me. I'm you from after you escaped the prison. You're me? No, you're me. Yep. I was in everything.
It's a conversation. And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
I'll reassure you, pal. Maybe he's trapped in a prison of his own making in his head. And he just makes these games over and over again and he can't stop. He has to, it's like a compulsion. I didn't actually. Maybe I'm not you. Have to do. To get out, you need to tell me how you feel right now. To get out, just talk to me for a bit. All you need to do is be sincere. What? Yep, that's the only advice I can give you. Yes. I don't know. That would really be annoying me if someone's that cryptic. Just be sincere, you'll get it. Are you sure? Yeah, no, sincerity, that's the way.
Considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
If you only trust yourself. I mean, there's no doubt this Coda's got talent. Absolutely, he's got bundles of talent.
So
the game, I couldn't make these games.
Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself.
Yeah, I couldn't make these games. And ultimately, if what Davey says is true and he stopped making games, it's sad.
Meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
Okay. So is there any... Oh, let me out. I don't want to be in the Sunshine House. Hey! Clean. Clean, clean, and clean. Well, you're gonna have to, because I don't clean. Aww.
You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this
especially the music
chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
I can understand it if he's enjoyed it though. I don't know where the bedroom is, but that just sounds like something creepy is going to go on when you come in after me. I made the bed. Oh. And I want you to straighten the rug a bit. Just gotta straighten the rug. Gotta straighten it out. I have no reflection. I am Ghost. So of course I'll tidy the couch for you. Just build a drink with the couch. I cleaned it up with my hands. I feel compelled to share an incredibly cheesy personal insight. You okay with that? Yeah, make it especially cheesy, of course. This is nice. Oh, come on. No, share it with me. Seriously. No, you got something to get off your chest, you can talk to me about it. Of course. I'll do it and you can tell me about it. Yeah. Oh, okay.
After the intense
I'm gonna do it all by myself.
This house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
I've already done that.
I know
Am I repeating
really
it?
Like this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time. Just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
You can see it in the game in itself. It's happy in itself. Even if it's a little, it's just a simple game. You just got to go around pressing E on things. You can tell he was happy when he made this. Don't know why. Yeah. I was going to say that it occurs to me that one's house is like a lot like one's soul. You take care of it and it takes care of you. Don't know why it feels so weird saying that. But there's a bit of truth to it, no? Anyway. So you think I'm crazy? Housekeeping. Let's keep doing this. Sure, buddy. I already picked up the books. Stop making a mess. Stop messing things up when I'm not in the room.
I'm glad he made this.
Yes.
I'm glad he found some peace.
Question. Sure.
But, of course, it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
What, like literally, will I die if I don't move? But no, you can tell that he was in a happier place when he was making the inside of the house. It was really nice in there. It had a warm feeling to it. Unlike the outside and, you know, quite frankly, this very creepy lamp.
Doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it. This one gets a bit goofy.
Does sound a bit strange. Why did you come here today? To learn! Knowledge is power! That's a good question. I'm at university myself. Why did I go to university? I suppose to get a better job. It seemed like the thing to do. Oh, I'm somebody else now. I am already perfect. Just everything about me is perfect. The thing is, no one is really better than anyone else. Everyone has their own well-developed talents and things that are bad about themselves, but altogether they make a whole human. So I can do the thing from the exorcism. What is up with the weird box people?
Perspective shifts.
Okay.
And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
I'll be honest, I'm not surprised your teacher's afraid. He has the very, very maws of gaping hell looking at him his entire life. These kids, they just gotta look at a teacher. But this teacher, he's gotta deal with people screaming as they get sucked into hell. Do what is easiest, do what is simplest, feel what is true. And nothing, no one.
I felt pretty hard for this one.
Perfection.
I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have.
Oh look, there's the listener. That's me.
Some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human.
That's the thing, you shouldn't compare your life to someone else's highlight reel. Because all you see is the best things that they post on their Facebooks, on their Twitters, and their, I suppose if you use Google Plus, on Google Plus, they post, all you see is the best parts of their life, and you compare all the best parts of their life to all the worst parts of your life, and
this
you end up...
a lot longer than all the others for Coded.
I was talking, Davey.
It's 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
Yeah, no, you compare your life to their highlights, and you ultimately end up not thinking enough of yourself. I'm in my place. Okay. Da, 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 da. I'm a ballet dancer. Okay, you start out leaning against this wall. Hey ladies, that's what I love about high school girls. They just keep changing. They just say the same. Yes, they do. Professional photographer of animals. It's your dream to photograph animals professionally. This is your one chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Here's the bathroom. What are you doing? Leaning against a wall, you're reflecting. You're not saying what's actually on your mind. Stop dancing around it and have a conversation with this person. Do it again. I'm super scared right now. No, 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 no. That's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, it was just that one moment, but I was confident. Maybe it's that you need a better feel for the setting. There are lots of people around us. I'll give you some props to work with. Hello! These cones that bounce when you touch them will represent the people nearby. Now go talk to her again. Ow. 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 Hello. Tell me a story, Happy. I should probably move back. It looks like I'm doing something rude. Especially she's so happy. Do you not realise how important this was for me? I'll never get up on a shooting like this again. Do it again. I want to try something. Try stepping back from the stage. Okay. It's that lamppost again. Davey says this really is a theme throughout the whole thing. What, like really, really far back? Is this like an infinite corridor? What? I don't like it at all!
Eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer.
What's happening?
What do you do?
My dad did.
Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
Jesus, he's getting more and more each time. Mobius trip. To play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. Click to begin the game. Do I really need to keep my eyes closed? Okay, I've got my eyes closed. What do I do? Am I meant to be doing something? Can I walk? Can I walk somewhere, please? I don't know if anything's happening. What's happening? Okay. Anything at all. Okay, something happened. Things got shook up. Okay, maybe I should open my eyes. Help, I'm blind!
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty
thanks a lot, Davey. Appreciate it, bro.
And there is a solution, by the way.
Okay. There was a giant door and then my vision went black. Holy shit! Can you fix this? I'm going in here. Dave! Okay, gotta go straight for that door. Help, I can't see anything. That's what I was doing the first time. I can't see, I'm blind! Holy granola trolls! Hey, truth. I can't keep making these. Why not?
Like I said, I was getting concerned. First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So, where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing.
That's what I was saying with I can't figure out how to do the thing.
Where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way. His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
I'm ready. I said, when he said I can't figure out how to do the thing, maybe that what I was right about when I was saying that he couldn't quite get his game where he wanted it. Hello? Where am I? Oh, this is pretty. Where did this island come from? Oh, I get a new one each time I speak. Yep. This is really pleasant and nice. Is that a person? How lovely. It's been a long time since I've talked to anybody. What's wrong? You look lost. I'll be honest, I'm not sure where you are, pal. I tried to create, I feel empty. Oh no. What happened? Did something change? Wait, you're looking for a machine? I think I know where it is. It isn't far. Really? You have to take me to it, please. I'm really starting to feel for Kota. I mean, if this is genuine and not just something Davey made to...
If the last game featured Kota talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
Back to the puzzle.
From my perspective at the time and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
This is different in itself.
You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
You have to say that your work is fun and easy. You have to say that game development is simple and joyous and that you love it 100% of the time. I can hear crying. It doesn't make me feel better. How about it? Just keep talking. Keep saying creation is easy. When I make games, I feel energized. Is this him maybe bursting out of his own personal prison?
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering. This is someone I really cared about.
This is clearly something that's in him.
So much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me. I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop.
I don't like the crying.
I never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop. But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Kota takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
Boy, that was almost heartbreaking in itself. Like the amount I was feeling then, just sort of playing through and just trying to get into the mind of Kota and just keep going. If this is truly something that Davey hasn't just created and is actually something Kota created, then it's seriously an interesting look into somebody's mind. I intend to be quick. Very good. Alright, I'm ready. The machine is himself. Okay. Hello. You get to see nothing. Things are moving.
And of course, it's the machine.
There's people out there. Can you imagine what pain you put them through? I've been so alone. Apologize for leaving me. This is heavy stuff. It doesn't work that way to apologize on behalf of someone. Unless they do it themselves. My friends. Not followers, we're friends. We don't need the retribution. Oh Christ, will we destroy the machine or will we destroy everything it's created? Everything it's created. But that represents his entire work. And we're back here again. Oh wow. I actually have to destroy everything. Okay. This is all disturbing in itself. But look, we're back using that gun again. Do I really have to destroy everything?
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make,
he'd be a good friend to
have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
Maybe I can clear this room quickly. Oh no, I like this room. Oh, this is the room with his ideas. The room where he enjoyed the fun of everything. Ah!
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games.
Okay.
I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games.
Yeah, I've been loving them. I think they were great.
Some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
And we're back with the machine again. Put down your weapon. It's speaking to us. Okay, I've got to shoot the machine.
I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because
it's the
thing that I always feel like I need to be told that my work is
good. He's destroying a part of himself.
That I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something. I really felt like I'd done something good. Like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So
sometimes something broke can't be fixed.
Beautifully happy. So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess.
Okay.
And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look. Sad.
I'd say if this is genuine, then I really feel bad, because Coda genuinely seems like a talented developer and someone who finds or found enjoyment in his work and now can't find it anymore and keeps pressing for that same enjoyment he used to feel in something. And I think it happens to all of us sometimes.
And this is where I have trouble saying
that can be the worst
about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, The Tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
I get it. It's dark. It's cold. Especially the atmosphere it's building generally just gives you the chills.
This room actually has a maze in it.
Really? What the
Except
fricky
that all
frack?
The walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise. So the experience is
scary as
miserable.
fuck.
The game goes beyond not being meant to be played. It actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
Certainly. Thank you. Wall 128, 128, 128. You can hear tortured screams in the background. That's creepy in itself. Even if this weren't representing someone's real feelings and emotions, that would be creepy in itself.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze? The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here.
That's the code.
I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
Okay, I was really far off. 1, 5, 1, 6. Ah, damn it. 1. Ah, damn it again. Slow this time. 1, 6, 1, and 7. Right. Okay, if I put 1, 6, 1, 5, 6, 7. 1, 5, 6, 7. Really? Okay. Perfect. That didn't take me much longer than I should have reasonably expected it to. I'm not stupid. Honestly. You can just be a bit thick sometimes. He hasn't used his puzzle, his traditional door puzzle in this one yet, though. Should I jump down the hole? Screw it, let's jump down the hole. I think bad's ever down holes.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges, and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying,
now you're trapped.
That's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem.
Sometimes it's not your job to fix the problem.
For you, so let me do that.
Sometimes other people have to fix their problems themselves. As much as you want to help someone out, you can't.
I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, It's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time. And as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew. It wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years, I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't.
Sometimes you can't help people. As much as you want to, in your heart of hearts, everyone wants to help.
That if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left. And it felt somehow like I had failed.
Left where? Left for where, I should say. And if you just stopped in the game, surely he's still about. Dear Davey, thank you for your interest in my games. I need to ask you not to speak to me anymore.
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you.
Well, that is sad. Wow.
I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... It felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
Okay, let's go to the next room. You've so infected my personal space, it's impossible. I did begin to plant solutions in my work somewhere hidden between games.
I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, it was... I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
Would you stop changing my games? Stop adding lampposts to them?
And then you stopped. And I didn't have anything left to show you. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean?
I realise this doesn't make sense to you yet, which is fine, you're not my problem to solve. But I do hope one day it clicks, that you make peace with this whilst you're still
I'm afraid
existing
that
your
I did
wrestling.
something really stupid because I don't like myself.
What was that?
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work. Is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And
no switch.
So a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please. I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again.
The room's getting smaller.
Help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
Okay, I thought the Lord was going to shut at me then. Man, this is so heavy. It's so full of... If this is real, I mean, maybe it's just another thing that, like the Stanley Parable, it's like a joke the whole time, and just false. But this game has really made me feel and think. Grand Central Station. Yeah, it's a train station.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease.
So the game was really about you and less about reaching quota.
Solution.
As I said before, sometimes something gets broke can't be fixed.
I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons. Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
Doesn't make you a shitty person to care about your friend, but he did tell you not to show people his games, and you still did it anyway. It's not a bad thing, it's just you should have respected his wishes. There are some people like this. They feel like they have to help people even if the people don't need or even want the help themselves, and you ultimately end up pushing that person away further than you intended.
On finding something to be driven by other than validation. What would that even be?
Just to be.
It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like.
It's like in those moments where you do something nice, that you give money to a homeless person, or you buy them lunch or something like that, and you don't tell anybody else about it. That's not about external validation. It's not about feeling good. It's about doing something good, and that's how you escape this sort of thing, where you need the external validation to feel good or to see life.
I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for. So I'm just gonna... Okay.
Are you going, or are we staying? It seems like a lonely place to be on your own. This is nice. It feels weird, but it's nice. Peaceful in its own sense. And this game is really dealing with some interesting concepts in itself. It brought me through a wide range of emotions. I guess we're gonna go down here. Oh, don't like falling. Ooh. Okay. Ah, we're still rising, okay. Well, this is taking its time, but never mind. Everything they say is worth it. If anything that takes time is worth it. If it's worth having, it's worth waiting for. Oh, and we're back here. But it's not the same place that was here, it's a different place here. I think we've got to be getting near the end of the game now, or at least reasonably to the end of what you could consider the game. Oh, it's that beam that I had to jump in from the start. You think every time that he said to us, "Oh, I fixed the game here so you can see what was there." Do you think maybe he did that and sent them back to Kota? What's that? Light, thunder, and lightning. Well, lightning, thunder anyway. Couldn't really see it, but. Okay. So I guess we gotta just jump into it like we did before. And we come full circle. I'm going back. Oh, I'm being lifted up. I think maybe that was supposed to happen to me the first time and I glitched it out somehow. Okay, this is a big maze. The easiest way to solve a maze is to pick one of the walls left or right, place your hand on it and don't take it off. You will eventually come to an exit. Wow, okay. This is maybe a metaphor for his mind. It's pretty regardless. Do you know the incredible thing about this? I don't see yourself repeating patterns, so this looks like he actually made most of this. I mean, maybe up to the mid-ground over there, he made this himself, and the rest of it's just an image. But still, this would have taken some considerable time to make, even if you copy and paste it. I mean, it doesn't look like he did it. At the end.
Turn back from this
For R.
cave. You said, let me prove that I'm brave. Let me keep going. But the cave goes for
Turn back.
and miles and miles. And you're so tired, but I know that you're strong. So turn back.
I'm curious if there's something after the credits. Wow, that was it. Well, that was that was incredible. I don't know. I'm fairly certain now that it was a fictional piece of work rather than an actual thing that happened to Davey. But if not, and that's inside. I mean, that's inside his own mind anyway. So it just demonstrates a depth of emotional, a level of emotional depth that you don't see in most people, or it represents that emotional depth that is in most people that you never get to see. Especially some of the things he said about external validation. Everybody does it, even in itself. I said earlier about giving money to a homeless person or buying somebody food, and you don't tell anybody about it because you don't seek that external validation. Then and that external validation is just for you. It's your internal validation. You validate yourself as a good person through that. But everybody seeks external validation in their own way. YouTubers, for example, we seek it from you guys who watch our videos. I mean, I'm only a small channel, but every single time I get another subscriber, it boosts my day. I've gone from no subscribers through to 12 subscribers. Some are friends, some are just people who saw my videos and liked them, or saw me on someone posting on someone else's video, followed it through, and decided to subscribe to help me out. But regardless, it means someone's taken the time out of their day and thinks that my video was worth watching. And to me, that's the ultimate compliment. That's the ultimate external validation that a person can give and a person can get. And I just want you guys to know I am always extremely grateful. Even if you spend only a minute watching my video before deciding you hated it, or you watched it all the way through and you loved every minute of it and you can't wait for the next video to come out, it means ultimately so much to me that you do that. And I'm sure it ultimately means that to all YouTubers and all performers who in fact require an audience to be seen, to be heard. So yeah, before I ramble, I'll let you go. So I really enjoyed this game, and if you get a chance to play it through yourself or recommend it to your friends to play, I would recommend you do it highly. It had overwhelming positive reviews. I didn't expect it to be this good. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.